This is the video recording for Lab 3, the audio part. Okay, so now I want to make a sine tone. Yep, you can hear it. It's to the frequency of 440 Hz. And if I want to change the frequency, that means the pitch will change over time. I just add F++. So you can hear that the tone will go up. Now if I want to control it by my mouse, so the frequency will go up if my mouse goes to the right, and it will go down if my mouse goes to the left. Okay, so that's the first part of the lab. Now going to the second part. It's implementing a volume envelope. So at the very bottom of the code, there's a mouse pressed function setting the amp to the value 1. And whenever the for loop runs, the amp will multiply by 0.9999, which makes a short sound like this. Okay, so that's the second part. On to the third part, additive synthesis. Okay, this part of the code is originally the one on the lab sheet. All I did is convert it into a nested loop. So instead of calling phase 1, phase 2 every time, creating a new variable every time I want to add a new wave, I just used a float array variable called phase, and all I need to do is change the number of sine num every time I want to change the number of waves added. So here I have 2. And if I change this to 4, you can clearly hear the difference. Okay, so change it back to 2. And on to the last part of the code. The wavetable synthesis. It's a wave of sawtooth, which will sound like this with only one wave. Okay. And 2 waves. With the amp. Okay, so this is the lab basic exercise. Onto another file I created just to understand a little bit more of how the waves are formed, how a square wave or a sawtooth is formed. So as you can see here, the black waves are sine waves, so but with a different frequency, and this is 1F, 2F here, 3Fs, yeah, and 4Fs. So the red one is a sawtooth. If you add about like 19 or 20 sine waves together, it will look more like a sawtooth. But I only added 4, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks a bit not like a sawtooth. And same goes with the square wave. A square wave is formed by adding the odd frequencies together. So I only tried 1, 3, 5. Okay? So if I add more sine waves, odd sine waves together, it will look more like a square wave. And all this is done by pointing, like points joined together. And that's it to the lab.